I want to start, because I didn't do this after the game, and I want to start by thanking our fans for Saturday. I was worried about it, fall break, and I thought our fan turnout was good. I thought our atmosphere was really good. I thought it affected Iowa State, especially in the first half offensively. They used a couple timeouts, and I just commend everybody for showing up and being loud. I appreciate that. I know our kids do. For the second week in a row, we took a quality opponent into the fourth quarter, and for the second week in a row, we didn't take advantage of the opportunity to win the game. And we've got to coach better. We've got to finish. Our players got to finish the games better. We're experiencing some growing pains. I think that's obvious. I will say this: I think our kids are playing with great effort. Playing really physical, and our execution and our playmaking is not what it needs to be, especially at winning time, and that occurs in the fourth quarter. I'll recap the game. I thought special teams wise, we were average. We weren't poor, but we weren't good enough to win the game. Our kickoff return unit, we lost a lot of one-on-one battles. I thought there were some opportunities there to maybe make some game-changing plays, and we did not do that. I thought the kickoff out of bounds was really hurt us. We get the pick six and we go up 7, and then we get a really good field position by kicking the ball out of bounds there. I thought that was a key play. So the positives, I think now going back, this is the 5th week in a row we have not allowed a punt return yard. I thought we had really good effort in our coverage units. Thought we did a nice job getting down there on our kickoff and our punt team. And then a little thing that you all probably don't notice, but our extra point protection is much, much improved. Our field goal protection has made strides. Defensively, the negatives first was we gave up too many 10-yard plus plays. We have to do a better job getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down. We did not do a good enough job of that. I thought the positives were the pick six. I thought for really 3 quarters or more, we had Brock Purdy off his game. I thought we did some nice things in our rushing defense. They averaged 3.3 yards per carry. And we gave ourselves a chance to win defensively, again, going into the fourth quarter. Offensively, not a whole lot of positives. We were better on 3rd down, but turnovers hurt us. Our running game, it's been a struggle all year, and it was no different on Saturday. And then the biggest thing that hurt us are the negative plays. We had 12 negative plays out of 56 snaps, 3 sacks and 9 TFL. So that's not good enough. One thing I want to do is I want to point out some guys that played well. I don't always do this in losses, but I think we had some guys that played well. Special teams, 2 guys that have played at a high level all year on special teams. They continue to do so against Iowa State. That's George Campbell and Dante Bonamico. I think both of them played 17 snaps. Only 1 negative play out of those 34 between the 2 of those guys. Defensively, Josh Chandler played his best game of the year. We cut his reps down, and so he was able to play faster. We got extra reload in there some more, but Josh played his best game. I thought he showed some real positive signs, especially in the box playing. Nick Troy Fortune played 80 snaps, and for a true freshman to go in that type of game and play well, I thought it's a couple PBUs, only got out of position a couple times. Really encouraging how he played. Reese Donahue played his best game of the year, had a sack, was really active. Josh Norwood, 3 games in a row. He's been our most physical player in the secondary. I think he had 10-plus tackles. And then Reuben Jones played his best game. He was really active. And offensively, Colton McKivitz was dominant in the game. If you get a chance, go back and watch. It was fun to watch him play. I wish I could say that about more guys on offense, but I thought he is playing at an extremely high level. And so I don't want that to get lost on us not playing as good as we need to offensively. He is playing dominant. Mike Brown played his best game of the year, and then T.J. Simmons is putting 2 games together. And I thought he had some big plays. Kind of closing out, I want to give some personnel, some injury updates. I want to start off, I want to touch base on Tevin Bush. Tevin and I met earlier today. He's had a rough few months. Tevin's a good kid. He's been dealing with some lingering foot and heel issues. He's not available to play. But he and I met today and really he's made the decision he's going to enter the transfer portal at this time. I support that decision. That preserves his redshirt year. He wants to go closer to home, and that's it. And I support him, and we'll help him achieve that goal. Injury-related news: Vandarius Cowan suffered a knee injury. He'll have surgery next week. He'll be out for the season. Keith Washington is still questionable for this game. He moved around a little bit yesterday in practice, but I would still deem him questionable. Austin threw a little bit yesterday. He'll throw again today. He is questionable. If he's going to play, I will let you all know. But I would say he's definitely questionable at this time. We will not play him unless he's 100%. And so I think that catches us up injury-wise. Kind of turn the page over to Oklahoma. And so Oklahoma, number 5 team in the country, unbeaten, coming off a big win in the rivalry game versus Texas. I think Lincoln's done a tremendous job there. You know, people talk, that's one of the premier jobs in the country, but I think it's also a really difficult job. And he got it. He's following a legend there, Bob Stoops, and I got a lot of respect for how he's handled that. And if you look at their football team, they've got a complete football team. They're playing well in all 3 phases right now. I think he's done a great job of putting together a staff. And so a lot of respect for what he's done there. Obviously, his record speaks for itself. Started offensively, they're the number 1 offense in the country. They've been right there at the top. 2 Heisman Trophy winners in a row. Some of the numbers look like stuff that our players play on Madden. You know, they got 9.6 yards per play, 335 passing, 286 rushing. Just, you know, it's good. I would say probably the best offense in the country. That obviously with those numbers, that goes without saying. He's put together a great offensive staff. Bill Bedenbaugh, who was here as an offensive line coach, thinks he does as good a job as anybody in the country. Cale Gundy's been there for a lot of years and coached a lot of big-time players at Oklahoma. You know, Dennis Simmons, he's had a number of big-time wideouts, and that leads me to you start off with, you know, C.D. Lamb. You know, I had somebody ask me about him on the teleconference yesterday, and, you know, probably the best accolade, if there's somebody better playing the receiver position better in the country right now, I haven't seen him. And I don't watch very much college football as maybe even some people in this room. I'm watching coaches copy, but I haven't seen anybody that's playing at as high a level as he has. He breaks tackles, he gets open. Obviously, Jalen Hurts gets a lot of publicity and deservedly so. He's running the ball well. He's got that offense really rolling right now. In their offensive line, even though they're coming back and replacing a lot of starters off last year's group, they're playing at a high level and they've got depth at running back. So I'm not telling you anything that anybody in this room doesn't already know. They're good on offense. Right? Defensively, much improved. I think that's where the story is for them this season. Credit to Coach Grinch and that defensive staff. They're playing hard. They run extremely well. They're multiple in their looks. I think there's a couple guys that really stick out when you turn it on. Their nose guard, Gallimore, and he has been a real difficult block for everybody they've played against. He's defeating double teams. I mean, he's penetrating in rushing defense and getting after the passer. Their Mike linebacker, Murray, runs extremely well. He's making plays sideline to sideline. I think their corners are playing really aggressive. I think they've made big strides since last year. Turned over to special teams. They're good on all their units. Their kickoff returner, Trey Brown's their starting corner. You know, he's a guy that was a track star in high school. He's a threat anytime, big-time speed. And then Lamb is their punt returner. So I've already talked about him. And he had one called back against Kansas. He's a threat anytime. So we've got to do a great job in our coverage units, needless to say. But looking forward to getting our team better this week, really. You know, we're disappointed. We've had back-to-back home losses here. We're disappointed. But it's not doom and gloom in this building. I'll say that. Not down and out. We've lost, if you look at our record, we're 3-3. We've lost 3 really good teams. I would argue that 3 of the top 25 teams in the country. We're playing 21 freshmen and sophomores right now. I didn't even know until Monty pointed out to me. We started 6 redshirt or true freshmen on offense on Saturday. And our guys are competing. We're getting better. We'd like it for it to happen a little faster than it's happening, but we're not disappointed. We're going to get our guys ready, and we're looking forward to finishing strong. And it starts this week with a tremendous challenge, but a great opportunity when we go to Norman. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Neal, what Oklahoma does offensively, is it unique or they just do it better than everybody else?
You know, they do. Lincoln does some good things, and their staff does some good things schematically to getting their best players in one-on-one situations. I don't know if they're running any different plays than a lot of different people, but they got great players. You know, they got great players, and They've recruited well, and they're putting them in positions that what they do is they really do a good job when a team is that balanced. Okay, so 300 plus passing, well over 250 rushing. They make it difficult to defend because they have speed to take you off the top, but they're also physical enough to run it. So you gotta kind of pick your poison.
You know, I know the quarterback hurts and the receivers get a lot of the hype for Oklahoma, but they've got some pretty good running backs in Sermon and Brooks. What have you seen out of those guys?
They're just tough. They're tough tackles. They're really tough tackles. They're both have the ability to catch the ball in the backfield. They're good in protection. You know, I think I think they call them H-backs and tight ends. I know their starting tight end's not going to play. I saw that yesterday. But those guys kind of make them go too. They really help them in protection. Those H-backs and tight ends are one of the reasons they're able to be so multiple.
Number of freshmen.
Mhm.
Have you ever encountered this before? I know.
Yeah, we played. You know, offensively, it's similar to my first year at Kentucky. I think y'all heard me say that before. In 2014 at Kentucky, we had to play a bunch. And really, offensively, if you just look at it from an offensive side of the ball, this is really probably the third time we've had to go through kind of one of these transformations, really. You know, we did it at Kentucky in 14. We had to do it again at Troy. I'm sorry, Kentucky in 13, not 14. Kentucky in 13. We played a lot of freshmen, and then Troy in 15, and then this year. So we played freshmen before. You know, I don't know if we've ever started 6. You know, I don't know. And the thing about it is, you get into it, unless Monty would have said something about it yesterday. I'm not sure I would have thought about it. You know, but it is what it is.
What has Riley done to expand from what he got out of Texas Tech?
You know, that's a well. The thing that I appreciate about Lincoln, I meant to say this when I talked about him, is he's a guy that really came up. He kind of earned every opportunity he got. You know, you look at him, he's a student assistant, GA, and full time. Kind of worked all his way up at Texas Tech. Went out with Ruff to East Carolina. Was an OC and worked his way up there. Ended up having one of the better offenses in the country. Got the opportunity at Oklahoma and made the most of it. You know, I think a lot of people in this system run the kind of the same pass concepts. You just get to it a lot of different ways. He uses motions. He uses shifts. I think the thing that's made him different, I think it's credit to Lincoln and it's a credit to Bill, is they ran the ball extremely well over this run they've had at Oklahoma. You know, everybody talks about the quarterbacks, and deservedly so. Everybody talks about the receivers, deservedly so. But you look at what they've done from an offensive line standpoint, and what they've done running the football. That's the reason why year in and year out they've been in the national title run.
Here you mentioned several players that have played better because of playing fewer snaps. With these injuries, though, and these things, does that put them back to having playing more Ironman, or is your developmental program and maybe guys entering into their 4-game stretch available to try to fill that spot a little bit?
Yeah, we're gonna. You know, we've got a couple of positions there that are starting to get really thin. Bandits now with Van Darius being out, that's a position we'll probably have to look at moving some people around to fill some of those snaps. Really, what we tried to do over the last few weeks is play a lot of those young people. You know, and I'm a big believer in you play them, and like Josh Chandler's a good example. Josh Chandler probably for a couple of weeks prior to Iowa State game was playing too many snaps. You know, and he probably played 15 less snaps. I'm ballparking. Y'all check. That's an exact number, but it's ballparking. But he probably played 15 to 20 less snaps, but he was more productive. And Exery Lowe filled the gap on those snaps, and Exery can run, and he gave us some quality snaps. And so we'll continue to do that. And, you know, Nick Troy get an opportunity. You know, Keith and Akeem are both available. You know, Nick Troy's going to play more. He's shown ability. You know, those guys can play less, and they'll probably be more productive.
St. Field went out with his ankle.
He practiced yesterday. I think he's going to be fine. Yeah, he practiced yesterday, so I would say he's probably for the game.
So that leads to Markel Petaway still the hope.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're moving ahead with. It would take something unforeseen for him to play again. I think it's a good move for him. It's a good move for our program. Kennedy and Letty, we'll continue to get the primary carries there at the running back position, and then Sinkfield will be the third. But that's the plan.
I was asked this at the gas station. I'm going to pass it on to you.
All right.
Where is Trey Lowe at developmentally?
Yeah.
Right now?
You know, he's we put Jack in the game, which I like. Jack gave us the best chance a week ago. So we've got a plan moving forward with the quarterback position. Not something I want to sit up here and talk about. If Austin can't go on Saturday, we've got a plan, and we'll move forward with that plan. Trey's getting better. And but we thought Jack gave us the best opportunity on Saturday.
Do you notice anything with Kennedy McCoy that's different? I mean, he really hasn't gotten a lot of yards this year.
Yeah, he played.
Pass catching and running.
Yeah, I think the prior game. I think if you look at NC State and Kansas, I thought he played closer to his potential. Turned an ankle against Texas. wasn't really effective. Wasn't as effective last week as he needed to be. I think that he realized that. Some of it we haven't blocked it as clean. He's had some opportunities in open field. He hadn't made the most out of those. But I don't think he's playing poorly. He's getting opportunities. We've got to do a better job of blocking for him, and he's got to do a better job in the open field as well.
Neal, free safeties for the longest time were like bigger, heavier guys than Josh. But you look around, there's more like coverage guys, smaller guys back there. Has that vision kind of changed for?
I think in this league,
looking around the back.
yeah, I think in this league you have to. If you look around this league, you got a lot of guys that are corner bodies. And I think a lot of defensive coordinators in this league kind of made the decision, hey, we're going to recruit some bigger corners. And if they maybe can't play man coverage, we'll put them in the back end. Because you got to be able to run in this league. We moved Josh back there really by necessity from some of the attrition over the summer. But also knowing that he was physical. That's the thing I like about how he plays. He plays with the edge. Got him in trouble a little bit with the hit against NC State, but he puts his body in there. He has contact courage. But I think if you look just trend wise in our conference, there's people are recruiting more corners in general, and then playing them at safety. And that's what we're doing with Josh. And there's a couple other guys that are like Corey Turner's a guy that could do that, could make that move at some point as well.
Can you talk about contact courage?
Yeah, well, I mean, he'll put his body in there. He doesn't weigh very big. Like if you came in, I mean, y'all seen him. I don't know how much he weighs. It's less than 180 probably. But he has zero fear about going in and tackling big running backs or tight ends. He contact courage. That just means he'll go in there and make tackles. He's not trying to get them down. He's trying to deliver a blow when he gets them down. That's probably a better explanation.
Coach, they're great line quarterbacks with Mayfield and Harvey, now Jalen Hurts. How are they able to?
Even before that,
Yeah, exactly.
Jason White, Landry Jones,
Yeah.
pretty good run.
Any idea how they're able to continually breed such great play?
Yeah, they're Oklahoma. Where are they at in wins, Mike?
Top five.
Tony, you're the one who told me this. 8th? Yeah. Had a pretty good run.
Playing for Tay Mayo this week and then moving forward.
Yeah, so Bailey, I just have to sit out the first half. So I think a lot of it will depend on Keith Washington's availability. If Keith can't go, then Mayo he'll be up. He'll be playing a lot. We'd still like to redshirt him if we can. If we can't, then there won't be any in between. If we're going to play him, he's going to play a bunch of snaps. If he's going to redshirt, then we'll play him those 4 games. That'll be good. So if it's up to us, if we have guys available, then he's on redshirt. But if he has to play, we'll play.
Is there anybody else like that maybe you'll have to play now?
I can't right off the top of my head. Nobody that I can think of right off the top of my head. Ali's played. Winston's going to continue to play. The rest of those freshmen that have been playing are going to continue to play. Nick Troy, KJ, George Jefferson, all those guys, they'll continue to play. Now, as we get closer, we'll start playing some of those guys that we still want to redshirt. And that's like what we do with Tate. But I think Jalen Thornton's a guy that you can see down the road. We'll wait and see on the offensive line. And just trying to think off the top of my head. Those are guys that anybody that you guys can.
Bartlett.
Yeah, Bartlett. I think he's a guy you'll see toward the end of the year as well.
Neal, behind Norwood, Kerry Martin's played a pretty good bit. I know he's been
Yeah.
sort of up and down. You saw it on Saturday with the PI and then a couple of the pass breakups. Just what have you seen out of him as far as development? 'Cause he's still fairly new to
So he's fairly new to defense. Period. I think what we're asking him is really tough. And he's kind of got pushed in that role by necessity. But I'm talking about a kid that barely played any defense. When he did, he just was playing man coverage, and now he's asked to go play safety. And I think what we do is somewhat complex from a secondary standpoint. But he's able to go back, and he's been able to go in. He played a lot of snaps. He's really played a lot of snaps in every game. Played almost the whole game versus North Carolina State. Played a lot versus Texas. One of the best offenses in the country. He's going to play a lot this week against Oklahoma. And so I think what we're asking him, I think it's going to pay off dividends. I think he's going to be a really good player in the league. I think especially once he's able to gain weight. That's probably the one thing that for him, he would have really benefited by being in what our developmental program is. And so where he could gain weight and stuff. Now we'll just have to really focus on that in the offseason. But I think he's got a bright future here.
Do you think being a high school quarterback helps him on the other end, kind of seeing it from the other side?
Well, the position he's playing is basically kind of the quarterback of the defense. So I think it helps him from a verbal communication standpoint and maybe taking a little bit of a lead back there. I think it definitely helps. I don't know if he sees it any better.
Neal, have you found anything in common with maybe some red zone possessions on defense that we should got 3 instead of 7 or resist a little bit more?
You asking our defense or our offense?
Defense.
Yeah, we've got to do a better job. If you look at the numbers, just looking at statistics of it, if you also look at it too, we've had a bunch of penalties.
Yeah.
We've had a bunch of penalties that have really hamstrung us. Most of our PIs have been down inside the 30. I thought we were a victim of a couple things. I guess I better not get into it, but I thought we were a victim of a couple things, some calls that went against us down in the red zone defensively. If you look at that Texas, go back and watch that Texas touchdown real careful. Go back and watch, the 4th and 2 they got last week. Go back and watch the 4th and 3 they got last week. So I think we've had some unfortunate things in the red zone, but we've got to do a better job, especially defending the pass down there.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Good. Thanks.